Well, good afternoon and welcome. Well, it might be a morning, it might be an evening. I'm not sure where you're tuning in from around the globe, but welcome to day two of the GM debate, brought to you, powered and presented by Hotelier Middle East. Again, thanks very much indeed for the very positive feedback that we received after day one of the event. Great panels, great debates had by many of the leaders in the hospitality and tourism industry, not just here in the UAE, but across the region and further afield over the course of the last day. And we're going to have much more of that over the course of the next few hours. So let's kick things off, because I'd like to say on behalf of all the team at the ITP Media Group, and of course Hotelier Middle East, your powering partner, hello to day two of this year's GM debate. And as you might have noticed, things are just a wee bit different. Ordinarily, round about now, or maybe we'd leave it a few hours, we would be gathering together in a ballroom at one of the stunning properties somewhere in the region to share these thoughts, maybe look forward to a few awards a little later on and a bit of hospitality along the way. Alas, the current situation, the coronavirus pandemic, has prevented us from doing that. That doesn't mean that we won't look forward to doing it sometime in the near future. But in the meantime, given the hand that we've been served, we are blessed to have the technology to connect everyone across the region to further on this conversation. And to that end as well, I must say that given the fact that we're doing this virtually for the very first time and onto the second day of a brilliant schedule, we have had a huge amount of interest from across the region. Hundreds were registered yesterday. We got a lot more comments after that, and it looks like more of the same today, with more registrations having made themselves official. I'm sure a few will be jumping in throughout the course of the schedule. So, ordinarily I'd be up there on stage, wouldn't I, in the ballroom, giving you all sorts of housekeeping rules, left, right, and centre. You're in your own ballroom, you're in your own front room at the moment, wherever you might be tuning into this. It's your own housekeeping to a certain extent. But just to let you know the way that we're going to do things, there's going to be an opening speech from an industry leader in just a few moments' time. Then we've got three panels, each is scheduled for around about 35, 40 minutes or so, give or take. And then we'd like to factor in a little bit of time to do some Q&A, a virtual Q&A, no less. So to that end, if you would like to say a few words, if you'd like to ask a question to any of our panelists, if you'd like to share an opinion, if you agree with them, if you absolutely disagree with them, if you just want to commend them on their tie or shirt or whatever else, then all you have to do is to leave your thoughts in the big marker platform. The what? The big marker platform. So basically on your screen, along the side there, you will see the option, the icon for you to leave your thoughts and your opinions. If you want to put a question in there for any of our panelists, do that. We are monitoring those throughout. We'll be forwarding on some of those questions, and the best questions will be asked at the end of the panel. Equally, we are going to be hosting a couple of polls as well throughout proceedings. We'll ask you please to vote on those polls. Again, just click on the icon, follow the very straightforward rules and instructions, and that gives us a little bit of feedback, a little bit of data, if you like, to move forward in our various panels. So we're going to be monitoring that chat. Keep it as polite and friendly as you can. And equally, if you are on other platforms at the same time, we've got other screens open, then please do use social media to your heart's content throughout. Please make sure that you tag us in along the way. Yesterday, we focused on regional tourism and hotel industries. Today's focus, but it's much more specific, if you like. We've got three big talking points for you. Navigating new health and safety regulations. That one is, of course, sponsored by Diversity. But we've got F&B in hotels and the future of hotel design as well. Listen, it's virtual. As you saw at the Emmys the other night, which might be a bit of a bigger organisation, things do go wrong, all right? So bear with us on that one. There is a bit of lag as we throw to speakers. There is a bit of lag between questions. Somebody's going to forget to turn their microphone off. Somebody's going to have a child walk in behind them at some point, but we just roll with it, okay? So make sure you take advantage of the proceedings. Make sure that be a little bit patient with us, and we'll get through to the end of it. Okay, without further ado, time to kick things off. Couldn't ask for a better opening speaker, keynote speaker, if you like, to really set the tone for today's conversation. I can see him there in his front room with a very, very professional backdrop there. All the awards out in display at the moment. More awards, I'm sure, coming in the near future. He's a friend of ours here. He's a friend of yours across the whole of the industry where you might be tuning in. And I'm sure we've all spent a staycation or two up there in the last few months. That's for sure. Many more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to hand over not so much the stage, but more the virtual screen as I point to that. No, it's not that side, it's that side, isn't it? It's that side over there. To a friend of ours. Please welcome the CEO of Ras Al Khaimah Tourism Development Authority, Mr. Raki Phillips. Raki, the internet is yours.
Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate the intro. It was very, very good. I'm very excited to be here. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fellow hoteliers, industry friends. It really is such a pleasure to be part of the Hotelier GM debates this year. As Tom said, I'm Raki Phillips, the CEO of Ras Al Khaimah Tourism Development Authority. And I just want to start by saying, I miss you guys. I miss our regular interactions. I miss having face-to-face catch-ups, hotel site visits, everything that makes us enjoy this industry, traveling. Between us, I miss the taste of airline food. I miss those tiny snacks that we used to get at all the different trade shows. But at least we've got these platforms and this technology that allows us to connect. So I appreciate that. As an industry, social distancing is definitely not in our DNA or in any of the SOPs that we were trained or had. It's an understatement to say that 2020 has been one heck of a crazy year with complete unprecedented changes. So I remember when we entered 2020, we really anticipated a super exciting year ahead of us. It was the start of a new decade, a much easier number to remember than 2019. Let's be honest, 2020 sounds so much cooler than 2019. And last year definitely had its challenges, but as a nation, we were so excited and set to welcome across the globe the UAE for Expo 2020. So we knew that this year would be historic. In Ras Al Khaimah, we continued on our path as one of the fastest growing tourism destinations in the region, and we were gearing up to welcome over 1.2 million guests to our hotels. And up until the pandemic happened, our hotels were running record high occupancies. However, as you know, things did not go according to plan. Throughout my career over the past 20 plus years, I've seen major world events and tragedies unfold. I was in the US working in Orlando when 9/11 happened. We experienced SARS, the financial crisis just over 10 years ago, even the Zika virus, but nothing was like this. And we all know that catastrophic impact that COVID-19 has had on the global travel and tourism industry and the wider economy, but really tourism is one of the worst hit industries. If you just look at the UAE alone, tourism makes up almost 13% of the UAE's GDP and employs 750,000 of our colleagues and friends across the sector. And when you think about that, for an oil-rich country, 13% of the GDP is huge. It's quite impactful. But today, I don't really want to dwell on things that we can't change, but I'd rather talk about the one word to me that highlights as leaders what defined 2020. It's not masks, even though I think it's so important to wear masks. It's not social distancing. It's not even a TikTok dance video, even though those were fun and critical this year. To me, the one word for 2020 is pivot. So for being one of the oldest industries in history, hoteliers and hospitality professionals had to learn how to do things completely different. The core of our industry is human connection, serving people, creating memories, and all of that has changed. And pivoting with this change was vital to survival in the age that we're in right now. As a destination, we reacted and pivoted to meet the needs of this new world and what that means for us now and what it means for the future. Things were changing so fast. We'd set something and then the next day, this virus has mutated in so many different ways that pivoting was the only way that we were able to survive. As a destination, it's fair to say that no one was prepared for a situation where global travel was put on hold. 60% of our customers in Ras Al Khaimah are international travelers, but that was very apparent right from the beginning of when things started to happen, of how fast we had to adapt and how to adapt quickly. As a developing emirate, we're lucky because we have the ability to be close to our partners and make real-time decisions. We're a smaller destination. We're a developing destination. And our success today, when we look back over the past few months, has been something that I'm very proud of. And I think the team and the community around us has contributed to make it really proud. And this didn't happen in isolation. It took a lot of steps, a lot of fine-tuning, but we were swiftly able to support the community and colleagues. So what did we focus on first? We focused on ensuring that we get a tourism incentive package and a stimulus package out to the community. We were the first emirate to announce this very early on, and we made sure that non-government entities got subsidies to help them face the economic hardships. We worked with the Ministry of Economy to leverage federal support, and we waived tourism fees, licensing fees, and we worked with partners to reduce utility costs. And we were able to give a cash incentive plan to these businesses to help them survive. And I think that was a great thing and a very important initiative that was driven by His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Saqr Al Qasimi. So to bring tourism back and restore the confidence, once we were able to stabilize, we had to focus on safety and security. So coming from the hotel industry, we know what an immensely challenging situation this is. Our industry embraced hygiene and physical distancing measures, working closely with the leading global risk management companies to validate their efforts. We also worked with the global hotel brands. Hilton is a great partner of ours in Ras Al Khaimah, as well as Accor, Marriott, and many of the other brands that were able to move and pivot so quick to be able to put some guidelines together. With that in mind, we were so immensely proud to be the first city in the world to receive both the Bureau Veritas Safeguard Assurance label and the WTTC World Travel and Tourism Council Safe Travel stamp. I truly commend all of our hotel partners to do that and to really rethink the operations. Ras Al Khaimah is known to welcome guests. We had a lot of all-inclusive resorts, and to eliminate buffets overnight and to do things quite differently and to cater to that domestic traveler in a safe and secure way was something that I'm very proud of the accomplishments the team has done. So then once that was done, we said, where are we going to get our business from? There's not a lot of international travel. It's quite limited. So we put our entire focus over the summer on our domestic audience. As I said earlier, 60% of our travel comes from international, from key markets, Russia, Europe, UK, Germany, Scandinavia, India, all markets that were so vital that we weren't able to get into the country. So what we did is we focused on what was right at our doorsteps, which is the domestic market. We launched a campaign called Shortcation, just a little play on words compared to staycation. And basically what it was a 3-night offer. You stay at any of our hotels, you get attraction tickets to either experience the Jebel Jais zip line, the Jais Adventure Peak, or the Suwaidi Pearl Farm. The Shortcation campaign really catapulted us into the forefront of domestic travel. And in 12 weeks, we had 15,000 incremental new bookings, 2,000 attraction tickets that were redeemed. We also gave away a Mercedes-Benz C-Class to one lucky raffle draw winner, and it really helped us. And I'm so proud to say that year to date, Ras Al Khaimah is the leading destination in RevPAR, both in the UAE and GCC. And the biggest reason why we did that is we drove average rate. We knew there was a limited demand coming into the market, and we said we're not going to discount, we're going to do value add. And I'm pleased to say that year to date, we've grown our average rate by 14%. And August alone, we're able to grow our average rate across the destination by 45%, which is a big accomplishment for us. It wasn't easy, but we were able to achieve that with all of our partners. So the future, what does the future look like? A lot of our focus is going to be on Jebel Jais, the highest point, and the future. But we realized we need to focus on conscious tourism, being able to really look at sustainability and how to add tourism product with the outdoor options that we have. And people are looking for something that's a little bit different. We enhanced some of our hiking trails. We launched a night hiking trail, the first of its kind in the world. And I'm so proud to say that in just a few days, we're going to officially launch 1484 with our partners at RAK Hospitality and RAK Leisure, which is the highest restaurant in the UAE. You've probably seen some stuff on social media. That was our soft launch, but the official launch is happening in just a few days. We also have the Bear Grylls Explorers Camp and many numerous things that's happening to really focus and take us to the next frontier. So in closing, some of the key takeaways that I want to talk about is I believe that our destination will have a great appeal to travelers navigating the globe in the new normal. And what does that look like in expansive, open, natural environments? Hotels need to be able to adapt to these changes. People are looking for spaces. People aren't looking to be crammed into places the way they used to be. Looking at the future, I really believe product innovation will play a big role in our recovery. Just yesterday, I hosted a GM meetings right here in Ras Al Khaimah, one of our hotels, and it was our first in-person social distancing meeting that we had. And it was so great to see everyone face-to-face, socially distanced, but that's so important to us to be able to connect, but do it in a way that's safe. To put it in context, our industry, we're all doing bad. You cannot compare the declines that are happening this year to any other time. But think about it this way, and I always say this to the team, we're all doing bad. We just want to do bad better than everyone else. And that means that gets us to another level as a tourism industry. Cultural exchange between visitors and local communities is important, and helping the local people and businesses to see them thrive is what visitors are looking for in the future. We've got a lot of small businesses here, the Pearl Farm industry, date farms, the adventure guides that take you up the mountain. These are all people that we work very closely. But I'm very happy that Ras Al Khaimah was announced recently to be on the temporary list for the UNESCO World Heritage Site. We have 4 sites that are on there, and this adds to our sustainable travel experiences that we're trying to build. So this year, I've always been asked, how optimistic am I about the future? And my answer tends to always be the same. In the face of adversity, we will always come back stronger. For hotels, for GMs, for restaurateurs, for tourism, we're the industry that's used to not working 9 to 5. So we work harder, we work smarter, and we'll be creative in getting our way out there. We'll learn how to adapt, we'll do things different. And the appetite for travel will never leave. 7 to 10 people surveyed say that travel gets them excited, builds their momentum, and lifts their mood just by knowing that you booked a travel experience. And when the restrictions ease and the world starts traveling again, I know we'll be ready to safely welcome visitors with open arms. But most important, we will pivot to all the changes that are happening. So again, I wanted to sincerely thank you for having me here. I appreciate the time. It's great that Hotelier has hosted this event, and I wish you all the best of luck with the year to come. And let's hope moving forward, things only get better. Thank you.